Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to our Paul, Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makar Kodash. Kal Halama Yahweh, Hashem, Yahushai, Hashem, Makar Kodash. That's in the ancient Hebrew, saying all praise to Yahweh, in the name of Yahushai, in the name of the Holy Spirit. Yahweh is the correct name for the God of the Bible, who the world ignorantly call Jehovah, God, or Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai, who the world ignorantly call Jesus Christ. The true name for the God of the Bible in the Hebrew is Yahweh. His son's true name in the Hebrew is Yahushai. I want to give the honors unto elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and shalom to all the brothers and out here pushing this word in sincerity and in truth to all believe in this gospel. Shalom. It's going to be like a response, just watching here the lesson that the apostle already did. You know, and this lesson from IUIC, when we have Nate up there, you know. Once again, you know, butchering the scripture. And as Apostle already said once, you know, right, Nate not stupid, Nate wicked. Right, and this try to break down of Revelation 13, you know, it's really just to show us, you know, this man is nothing but the devil. Right? And I'm saying devil not refer to Esau, basically he's a deceiver, right? Because he can't, I don't think Nate that stupid. You see me? Nate knows the mark of the beast, you know, what it is. All right. And this attempt to basically, it makes sense. None at all. All right. Is he brought out this, and it's funny, even where you see here the elder brother Zahab, you see me? I think that's his name. Elon at it again. And then I think this is the elder brother Barkabar X marks the spot total soak. All right. X marks the spot. Or maybe it's not what I think, but I think it's referring to the chip. You know, because Elon Musk actually did his first brain chip, you know, implant just the other day. Right. And thinking about it as well, you have the brain chip and then you have the one I'm gonna put in people's hand. So you know, scripture specify, you know, but Nate, you know, weird attempt, you know, very poor, stupid as attempt to basically use this precept here to say the mark of the beast is sin, which this is a question I want to ask. This is if the mark of the beast is sin, right? So Nate is a devil, yo, is a man. Yes, he's being a wicked, right? Because he's been around so long, right? And just as I know the name of the Most and the Son name and him to teach, but now I'm track it. Gotcha. Yeah, man, you live life. But all right, he's in Panama and so forth. But he's been around, you know, long before me. I think me before me even born, right? You know, he was at the old school and so forth teaching, right? And I don't believe this man that dunce. He's mere that stupid, all right? Because he's saying the mark of the beast is sin, right? This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is the transgression of the law. This is clear. So sin is when you break the commandments, right? So if the mark of the beast is sin, which law, right? Because if me supposed to say, yo, for example, don't commit adultery, or adultery is sin, right? Or even best me say adultery is a sin. It is a transgression of the law. You're gonna ask me what law? And then we can give you Exodus 20 verse, I'm not sure a specific verse. Let's just go there just to build on to this Exodus 20. I'm sure the verse. Here, Exodus 20 verse 14, thou shalt not commit adultery. That's the commandment. So if you go against this, you sin, right? So the question is, if taking the MOTB or the mark of the beast is a sin or is sin, what law? You see me? We don't need the devil, just as I used to teach, oh, there's not going to be a time when Jacob's trouble. You see, with Ian Bones and him try to swivel him way back, you know, oh, you know, so many of us say, so that we actually I say, you know. So yeah, taking the mark of the beast is sin. Yeah, but which one? So we're saying as opposed to basically putting a mark upon yourself for the dead, yo. Is it when you look up that word mark, which I really don't remember which part there. The commandment. What's so fun to think about the internet these days? Oh, Leviticus 19 and 28. Oh, it says cutting. Oh, anyways, same difference. Leviticus chapter 19, verse 28. Ye shall not make any cuttings in your flesh for the dead, nor print any marks upon you. I am the Lord, your Shai. So taking the MOTB is actually, well, tool I break, you know. This one, right, when you print any mark, and we can get the word mark here real quick. Sure, so it not even have nothing to do with this mark here, because I've never looked up this word mark, but thanks to Nate, I'm gonna look it up, right? Which I'm gonna get back to this real quick. I'm just trying to build on a point here real quick. So let's get this mark here. Any marks, right? This is the Hebrew, kwai, kwai, right? Kwai, 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 you know. Incision, incision, imprintment, tattoo, mark, which I'm going to keep this right here for future use. you know, but so here it says you're not supposed to print any mark upon you. It's an incision in your flesh, right? I like tattoo because if you know tattoo, you basically a stake your flesh to basically get that ink inside to stay there, right? And you also pop, pop. You see me? Stigma, a mark branded on the skin, right? So this is a law what you're saying is supposed to do. And another law as well, basically with the MOTB is basically basically making Esau your God. The scripture say you're not supposed to have any gods before the Most High. All right. So you basically accepting Esau as scripture say worship the beast. Right. You taking him mark is basically ultimatum and say, you know what, this man may look for a feed me and take care of me. Right. So you're making him a God instead of the Most High. Because Most High say, don't do it, and you go do it because you're afraid of Esau. Right, so I get the laugh for that. Say, oh, no, shall have no other gods, but anybody's supposed to know that. All right, so let's go back to here now. So this is Job chapter 10, verse 14. It says, if I sin, then thou markest me, and thou will not acquit me from mine iniquity. So in holy answer, see there, sin is basically the mark of the beast, which, holy shit, you were thinking about it. This is the Mosiah marking right here. But in Revelation 13, you speak about the mark of the beast. Totally two different mark already. But let's go into the word mark and see what one in John chapter. Thou markest me. So the scripture speaks, if I sin, if you transgress against the law, right? That's what it said, right? Whosoever committed sin, 1 John 3 verse 4, whosoever committed sin transgressed also the law, for sin is transgression of the law. So if I sin, if I break one law, right, thou markest me. This is the word mark, shamar, right? It says to keep, guard, observe, give heed, right? To keep, of charge of, to keep, guard, keep, watch, or ward, protect, or save, which the Lord's Prayer, we have that word shamar, right? Yeah, so basically the text says if you sin, the Most High keep watch over you. Why? Him keep watch over you, and thou will not acquit me from mine iniquity. So if you basically go off the Most High seat and he go and brush you. That's what this is actually saying, right? Which is a completely different mark which you're going to see as a pastor, I mean, going and say, yo, brother, how will you put a mark in the scriptures? You have to know which one we mean, right? In series, we have this precept here. 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15 says, study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth, rightly dividing the word of truth. Right, so we're supposed to study or look into things, get in the etymology, know a little Greek, know a little Hebrew, right? I mean, no one yet know them. This is the prologue of Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. Let's read this section here that I highlighted. It says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we, and funny, one point here, so it says, let me see. Here, it says, to the intent, so I'm not sure why I'm reading this book or where it was created, to the intent that those which are desirous to learn and are addicted to these things might profit much more in living according to the law, right? Missed the point on the one, but that's good as well. Here, it says, and whereof not only the readers must needs become skillful themselves, but also they that desire to learn be able to profit them which are without, by both by speaking and writing. Right. So in order to break down the scriptures, have become skillful. Right, which most have to do with at the end of the day. But you have to, that's how when we wrote their teaching, we know words, etymology. Right, we study. Scripture eat the whole rule. And the scripture rightly dividing the word of truth. Because if what we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 mark here, that means totally different something, right? Then I'm going to bring forth. But without understanding or things, oh, mark just mean, no, I see him thing to talk about. You have to dip into the word and see what it actually means. Like, for example, the word world in the book of, well, all of our scripture still, but there's 3 different Greek words that actually translated into the English world. The word world. And thus reading it verbatim, you're going to think so, and you just the whole word earth. But actually when you dip into it, you find out, say, one actually aeon, which I talk about age or time frame, when an icon mini or deal with whole planet, and when actually cosmos, or deal with actually a set like an arrangement, a specific set of things. We have to dip into the word to actually understand what it means. And I believe clearly Nate knows, but them zombies really know no better, right? But here, so let me read down now, back to where I was at first. It says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention, and to pardon us, wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue have not the same force in them, and not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language. So in order to actually get a good understanding of, go back to the etymology, true essence of the word when it was first spoken, what it mean. All right. So here in Job 10 and 14, it'll deal with shamar. One Hebrew word will mean guard or, basically protect or watch over. Right. So let's go to another Hebrew word with a Mosai, the one different type of mark. Right. We make the angel them do. This is Ezekiel 9, verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark. So is it that the Mosai has set a sin upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof? Is that what you're saying? Because every time we see the word mark, we go jump to conclusion, oh, this is sin. Oh, we're going to find out The word mark, it was used. Let me see. I'll look it up. Mark, Hebrew, thawa. Let me see. Desire, mark, mark, a sign, as a sign of exemption from judgment. This makes sense. So the scripture has to set an exemption, right, for the men they must sigh and cry for the abomination be done therein. See, I set them apart. That is what this mark represents. Tawa, which is completely different from this mark, shamar, right? Now let's go to Romans chapter, different precept this now. Romans chapter 16, verse 17. Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So this is Paul basically the command to Israelites in Rome. He said, mark them which cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine. So is it that now, we see the word mark here, we're supposed to same time jump to conclusion, oh, this is the mark, shamar, or is it the same mark, tawa, exemption from judgment, to people who basically cause division and offenses contrary to the doctrine? That won't make sense. So we'll go once again, we'll study, see if we can find out what really the word mark means, to see if we can make it make sense. Right? Mark. So this is now like a Greek. Scopio.
Strong's G 4648. Scapeo. Scapeo.
All right, let me say it that way. Right? It says to look at, observe, contemplate, to mark, to fix one's eyes upon, to direct one's attention to, anyone, to look to, take heed to thyself. So this basically tells you the mark here. See, anybody who see a chat foolish, is it more go against scripture? Pre them. That is another word we don't use in Jamaica. Pre him. You see me? As I say, take aim at, spy. Right? Pre him. You see me? And what? What is scripture say when you pre him, what you do? Now I beseech you, brethren, mark them which cause divisions and offenses contrary to the doctrine which ye have learned, and avoid them. So pray them, scope them out, see what do you foolish, and then deal with them on you. Left them alone. Alright? So there is that word mark once more used in the scripture, and they have a completely different meaning from Job. You have a complete Job 10 and 14. You have a completely different meaning from Ezekiel 9 and 4. And now we're going to go to the famous Revelation 13 and 16, right? Which this is now a mark. This is a mark where a random man going to use in a Revelation 16 and 17. I don't want to say random man, I'm a believer, you know. Ezekiel 9 and 4 is a mark where the Most High sent the angel them for do. And this is a mark in Job where the Most High himself for do if you sin. No, this is a different mark, the mark of the beast. What is the beast? You see me? Is it one mystical creature? What could us come up in the last days? Daniel 7 tell them. Basically kingdoms. Right? So this beast is actually in the fourth kingdom now upon earth before the Lord return. Basically is ruled by who? The Edomites, so-called white race. Right? Okay, so let's go into it. This is Revelation chapter 13, verse 16. And he caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So, no, but this a new mark, you know. We'll find out if a new mark. We'll find out if maybe the same mark we use in Job, or the same mark we use in Romans, or the same mark we use in Ezekiel. We'll find out. Also, I'll go on a job. Mark. Here's it. Greek.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Charagma. Let's find out what it means. A stamp, an imprinted mark of the mark stamped on the forehead or in the right hand as sorry, read that messed up. Of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. Which is not the Antichrist. What people are Antichrist? Antichrist just mean against Yahushua or the anointed. So once you're against the Son of the Most High, you're an Antichrist. And this world is against the Most High, so it's an Antichrist, right? Um, it says the mark branded upon horses, which this is an example of a mark or character we normally use, but then is a for branas. It says thing carved, sculpture, graven work of idolatrous image, right? Character, right? So it says this is a different mark. The word here is different. So this is a stamp or imprinted mark, something physical that you will be able to see, tangible. All right? It will be imprinted upon people that follows this beast. And then we can go more into it from the same as when it says
Strong's G 5482. Charax. Charax.
Carax. So it's a peel or stake, a polystid or rampart. All right, so that show you where this come from. It's a polystid between which earth, stones, trees, or timbers are heaped and packed together. Basically, watching medieval movie, they usually use them for like a blockage when they basically have a garrison, you know. Point basically let me just show you a quick image. Because that's all we're supposed to do, yo. Just look up things. We have the internet today. Not that one. Not this one. Medieval. This is it. You know. We're actually describing what's going to use to pierce the skin, for basically implement or put this. This is a root word is a that's what we are finding out going around and so it means it's a dictionary, you know.
Strong's G 1125. Grapho. Grapho.
All right, so the word uh we have charagma, then we have charax, then we have grapho. So we are digging at the words we really come from when it was first spoken. All right, to get an understanding of what it actually means. It says us to write with reference to the form of letters, to delineate or form letters on a tablet, parchment paper, or other material. Right, so this is basically to do with information, which in this same video, Nate actually play a section where they might tell us how um, the system have a little device where they have people data, you know. I have anything I want to play in the car, boy. I'm gonna get tired, I get buff with him somewhere. But you can watch it. Let me show the link of this video in the description box. If not, you can just find the channel Elders in Transit 3. It's a quick update to you are going to have to explain the mark of the, Alright, you can watch it here. It's in basically 8 minutes in. Right? And when we see the world know where it's going, soon and very soon, they'll implement that, chip, and you're gonna see enough of them can play a buck shuffle, right? That's what's checking the comment board actually. Okay, all right. So here, I remember when we place this right here. So, I may refer to the sin. So yes, indeed, taking the mark of the beast is a sin, but you need to find out which one. So need basically play basically play smart. I will believe him take the bag. And did mention about stigmas, right? So here, when we go back a few steps, it's the imprinted mark, imprinted, imprintment, tattoo mark. And then when we go to the next verse, in Revelation 13, verse 18, it says, "Here is wisdom, let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 6. And brought it out here from the Greek.
Strong's G 5516. Chi, Xi, stigma.
Which is actually dealing with
Chi, Xi, stigma.
Right, which is actually dealing with them universal code, right? 666, then barcode, as the apostle brought out as well in his lesson. Which I want to get here, show the last part, stigma. You know, that's the root word for Kaisai stigma, which is the last 6. It said, a mark pricked in or branded upon the body to ancient Orientals. Should I say something literal, brethren? You know, fucking just sin. Right? A mark pricked in or branded upon the body to ancient Oriental usage. Slaves and soldiers bore the name of the stamp of their masters or commander branded or pricked, cut into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belonged to. And there were even some devotees who stamped themselves in this way with the token of their gods. So when John the Revelator actually see it, he used the word stigma. You see me? Right? For describe what him actually say. People, I take something literal, for basically identify themselves as servants of the system. Clear and to the fucking point. Sorry for my French. But if I can't get it, it's just not for you. Right? You know, but that's a lesson still. As this is stigma here, stigma from a primary, I can't read Greek like that. It says a stick that is prick or mark incised or punched for recognition of ownership, that is figuratively scar or service. Mark. Reason why I'm gonna have this on deck. You see me? Right? Why the most I say, you know, none of them mark here. Because he is supposed to be your God. Right? And we be his servant, not Esau the devil. Right, so hope this said fun until out there, you know, giving all praise to our boy, Hobo Hashem, Yoshai, boy, Shem, Kodash, the wonders unto our elders and apostles of great millstone, and shalom to the full, like, shalom.